Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode
101.
Is it 101?
Yeah.
Okay, episode 101 of Lesbian Talk. If you notice, episode 99 just went up. That was because it had a serious...
We had issues.
Yeah, there was technical issues in it, and then the actual file itself was damaged, so it took a while to edit together into as coherent as it was. So, apologies for that one. I think it's still a decent listen. It's just a little bit more cut up than it would have been.
Fair play.
But this one, this is our post-ConBravo one. We're going to try and get back into the swing of things. This is the post-ConBravo discussion because it's...
That's where we went.
It's Saturday now, so we were there a week ago, but we spent a few days in Toronto, and we're now ready to talk about it. ConBravo!
It was really good, though. No, see, we were smart this year. Last year, we came the day of, I think the first day it started, and then we left on the Sunday night. And 2 transatlantic flights in less than a week is a really bad idea.
Yeah, and
Like,
then
really
especially if you've got a 4-hour bus before and after the airport. So we were completely wiped out the entire con afterwards. So, but this time we were smart. We went to Toronto for a couple of days afterwards, or Toronto.
It's a city in Canada.
Canadians, please explain to me where the second T in Toronto goes, because you guys don't pronounce it.
Yeah, but that's just like a colloquialism. Like, a lot of places don't do that. Like,
I'm from Toronto.
in Swarthmore, you don't say the R. Like, you could always tell somebody from out of town. They'd be like, excuse me, where's Swarthmore College at? You're like, Swarthmore's over there. But then on the R3, on the regional rail, when you're coming up to the station stop, the guy said, Swarthmore next. So it's just, you just know all of them.
That guy was, whoever that is allergic to R's.
Well, I'm just saying. But
so we arrived,
on the Wednesday with the day before.
Yeah, we had to leave like 4 a.m. on the Wednesday to make sure we got to Hamilton on the Wednesday mid-afternoon.
Yeah. Like, basically, this time I was smart and I just stayed up the whole night.
Yeah, that's what I do every single time.
Watched YouTube.
But Omega usually tries to sleep, which... You stay up, and then you're completely shattered by, like, mid-evening, and then you crash, and then you're okay-ish the next day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess. So we had to get the 4-hour bus ride down to Dublin, and then, Dublin Airport's not that bad.
Yeah, especially Terminal 1, where we were, because it's got a 24-hour-7 McDonald's with really soft chairs if you find the right place, so that's okay.
And so we flew out. The
free Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that's
we were
true.
bitching on Twitter, watching some story developing about a fashion vlogger who there was a conspiracy theory that she'd been kidnapped, and we're like, what the fuck's going on? I haven't online since we left the house. What the fuck?
So we got the flight. The flight was actually not that bad, but it was a very rough landing. There was a lot of turbulence on landing.
Yeah.
That was kind of...
And we flew Canadian, and Canadian Air Canada. Guys, it's called putting a fucking screen in the chair.
She takes, like, personal offense if the airline doesn't have the entertainment screen. But what they do is they will rent you an iPad for $10.
It's like, everyone else is like, put it into the screen for it, but these guys, they gouge you for $10 for it. It's like, no.
I have a tablet anyway. I told, and I slept the whole way, so I told you could use my tablet. You could use, well, not the iPod because I was listening to stuff, but any of the magazines I brought. It was like, here I have a tablet for free. You don't have to pay any money. Like, no, I'll just suffer. No.
I was listening to about 2 months worth of The Atheist Experience. Thank you very much.
Well, anyway.
I had to hear Matt Dillahunty call stuff asinine. It had to happen.
Well, we landed in due time and we got through customs.
That's early.
Hold on a second.
Well, hi.
Sorry
again.
about that.
Basically, we ordered pizza to time for when we finished recording, but it came like over half an hour early.
This pizza place, they're really good. They're on the waterside. If you order from the city side, it takes at least 3 hours to get your pizza. Sometimes the same on the waterside. So I once got good results by making the order over their website before they opened for delivery a half hour after they opened. And it came on time, and I was like, I've discovered the magic. So we figured, we'll just do that, and well...
So this place either comes hours late or hours early. So.
And then your man was like, "Oh, I'll take it back if you want." Was he Scottish or English?
He's from north of England.
Yeah, he had that accent.
But so now we're back.
ConBravo, we ate pizza.
We can't remember what exactly we said, but
it was grand.
If we repeat ourselves, apologies.
We just got to the airport, and the convention actually had a driver come and pick us up, which was really, really, really great. They said you have to find your way back yourself. So we were like, that's grand because we're going on holiday afterwards. So, and this guy was from England. And so you guys had fun. And he was like, let me tell you all about London in the 60s. Let me just say. He was a really great captain.
Yeah. He hung out in Carnaby Street.
So we got to the convention, and we were there on Wednesday, and nothing really kicked off until Friday really. Night, yeah.
Because Thursday, things drips and drabs started, but Friday's when it kicks off.
And so we hung out. We saw Dodger Zion and Ross, and who brought us a lot of treats. Like Zittner cream eggs, which they were kind of in like a lump because she kept them in her freezer, but then it's the summer obviously. But that's okay because it's cold in Northern Ireland, so now they're solid again, so I'll eat them anyway.
And now this is genius. Okay, over in the UK it costs about £40, which used to be quite mighty, but it's very cheap for everyone else because of fucking Brexit. It would have cost £40 to get GoBots, imported from America via Amazon. GoBots, the complete series, all 68 episodes. So then I was like, wait a sec. Ty, the writer, is coming from USA to Canada to for ConBravo. It's like, Ty, please give me GoBots, because it costs like $20 for, or possibly less, or more, I don't know, but equivalent of about £20 for the whole series. Please, I love you. And Ty was like, okay. And so Ty brought me them, and in exchange I gave him 1.5 kilograms of favorite type of chocolate.
You should probably say it was in bar form, because when you use kilos, Americans can only think about drugs, because that's how drugs are reported. So it's like lots of bars of chocolate, many.
15 bars of chocolate,
Galaxy.
Which about the size of a DVD box.
Yeah, like Galaxy Cookie Crumble is very good.
And but not only that, Ty also brought me 4 giant things of peanut butter M&Ms.
You can't get over here. Well, you can, but you have to get them from Belfast.
Very import shops or whatever.
That's
I can't even remember asking for them, but they are my favorite type, so I was like, Jesus Christ, so much of this whole fucking
you got some Jolly Ranchers, you bought more Jolly Ranchers. Like, literally, if we become diabetic in the next few days, you'll all know why.
Yeah, and,
because I swear I gained, 6 pounds on holiday.
What else did Ty buy? Oh, yes, Ty,
oh, dear.
Procured some very large, sex toys, which apparently are just way too large for any human use. And so Ty was like, well, I can't give them back. Here, Hagan, you can have these, to use as props. So at least one of these should be appearing in the Sugar High Glitter City review.
Now, have you checked your case to make sure that, they
they're
didn't...
in there.
Customs, it wasn't we'll take that, so we'll...
They're in there. And one of these will be appearing in the Sugar High Glitter City review, which we should be filming in 3 days. That's the next episode of Hagan.
So you filmed another mega crossover.
Yes. Well, it's not really mega. I mean...
Well, it's a crossover is you and another person. A mega crossover is you and many.
Yeah, but Island of Dr. Moreau was
crossover.
Me plus 3 others, plus cameos by 4 or 5 other people. So that was mega. This one was a Moreau style one, but it had me and 2 other Hagans, and then a third Hagan turned up at the end. So it's like a cut down version of Moreau. I did not want to have the craziness of trying to organize one like that again.
Yeah, that was really rough.
Plus, you really couldn't recapture that one because Justin was so fucking brilliant.
My butt doesn't hurt.
Plus, this strip, MagFest, when we filmed that, it had all of the Hagans up to that point, except for Robert Million. He'd done it in a part on Critic TV.
Well, he can go suck his own dick and die.
Well, at the time, he probably
was sucking his own dick and dying.
Okay, but he was not persona non grata then. And so he was the only one that was not in that at that time. This one, all we had was Omega. We had with Sinwicky, we got Leon Thomas. We have one of the next set of Hagan reviews. I was trying to work out whether I should hold on to this one until after I do the next set so it can be an extra person, but I was like, nah, I'm not entirely sure when that'll be.
Plus, everyone was doing, ducking in and out to go do a panel or do something else.
Yeah.
Or, we occasionally had people who were like, hey, what are you guys doing? We're filming crossover. Oh, Gene help? Yeah, you are now the script person. Do-do-do-do.
Yeah.
And Jennifer Roll, she got involved.
Yeah.
Basically, it was like, oh, I'll be the script person. I'll do this, and I was like, yes. All I have to do here is stand here and play on my phone.
Zenith turns up in a cameo, actually, in the Pirates of the Great Salt Lake review.
Yep.
So we did 2 review crossovers. We're going to do 3, but one fell through at the last minute. But that's a bit annoying, but oh well.
We got to play more Quiplash, which I don't know what your parties are like, but if your parties lack, some life and essence and fun, play Quiplash, or one of the games. I think it's Jackbox.tv. Those are really fun party games, and I always forget about them until Dodger's like, hey, anyone want to play Quiplash? I'm like, oh, I really love playing that. So
yeah. But back to the cameo crossovers.
I filmed a crossover. No, I didn't. I did nothing of the sort.
We got the 2 crossovers. One is going to take a while to arrive. That is the 3-way Hagan crossover with Sin Wicked and Leon Thomas. Yeah, Sin came out of retirement for this one as Sin Hagan. Sin Hagan, who presented Terror of Tiny Town, and Leon Thomas, who did The Unashamed. So we were reviewing the Asylum's remake of Freaks.
And when this review comes out, you need to pay special attention to Leon's eyes, because he has the most expressive eyes of anyone I've ever watched you crossover with.
I hope.
He says more in a glance. Like that's his straight man thing, and I think that makes it good.
I'm really hoping that. Well, I haven't seen the footage because I was in front of the camera.
Well, I saw
haven't received it yet.
footage happen in real life. So
I'm really hoping that the shot is close enough that you can see that at its fullest. Because I couldn't actually see Leon while filming because I was on the one side and Sin was in the middle, and Sin sort of obstructed the view. So if I was talking to Leon, I was
looking at the side of Sin's head.
Basically, yeah, which was hilarious. But all the other one is still jet lagged. Pirates of the Great Salt Lake, which is
watch the trailer. Pause Lesbian Talk. Right click on the YouTube logo at the top, open in a new tab, and watch the trailer, and then come back to this tab.
Or you could just look up Pirates of the Great Salt Lake, because the film has been pirated to YouTube.
Then you know what happens is people get lost, and they won't come back to watch the rest of Lesbian Talk.
Well, you've got the ad rev already.
I've literally made since I've had a YouTube account since I think 2011, 2012. I've made $1.05 in ad revenue in all that time. It's not gonna be.
That's because you don't put many videos up.
Well, I need to talk to Nash, actually, when I get back home tonight, and I go on Skype. If he's on, I'll pester him. If I'm not, I'll pester the Channel Awesome chat, because I really want to start making small vlogs. And I need some sound advice, because I have a very powerful desktop that my roommate Neil helped me put together, but it has very powerful fans to keep it cool. So they are loud. So I need to figure out a really good way. I'm not going to ADR a vlog. That's a waste of time.
Put it on tablet, and the scripts on tablet, and use the camera, or use a camera.
Yeah, but I want the
webcam.
Yeah, because I want the webcam to be recording to the computer.
Okay.
In real time. Because otherwise it's just really inconvenient, because you've got my camera, etc., etc., etc.
Because I use it more often.
Yeah, and my mic was just too big and impractical to bring over, so I sold it, actually for a pretty good chunk of change on eBay. But anyway.
But Pirates of the Great Salt Lake, it is a crossover with a YouTuber who I'm friends with and I think is wonderful, but I don't think has a massive following.
His name is Magic Steve, and you should go follow him on Twitter right now. Yeah. Because he can fucking make anything out of balloons. Really, Optimus Prime, the TARDIS, anything.
Yeah, Magic Steve, he created the crazy balloon stuff in Myra Breckenridge. And he, last ConBravo, he was behind the camera, borrowed his camera for filming stuff. He's brilliant, and we're doing a foray into Mormon cinema, and we do have a Suede cameo. Although he wasn't at ConBravo.
He was in New Zealand land.
Yes.
Where the bugs... We met a fan who's from New Zealand. And she admits that there are really huge bugs, they're really big.
Weta.
Yeah, she's like, my mom saw one time. I'm like, and but I was very culturally appropriate about my horror of bugs. But anyway. Oh, and you did panels.
Yeah, I did 3. Well, one of those was yours. Ones. Well, that wasn't really a panel. That was a hangout. But, yes, we did a movie reviewing Q&A where I got to meet Animat, who also did Whether They're Gonna Die.
He's really friendly. I knew him from the internet, kind of, but he's just really friendly in real life.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy. And in person, you can really see that he looks a lot like Rob Walker, which is hilarious.
He does, though. He just looks like just a little bit smaller.
Yeah, compact
And I don't think
version.
I'd ever met Kaluna before.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, I've met her. I think I've tweeted with her online or something like that. But I don't think I met her in person.
She does Game of Thrones reviews.
Yeah, no.
That panel was really cool. It was us two. It was Cluna, Animat, Leon Thomas, Rantasmo,
Derek
the Bard.
It's always fun to see Rantasmo. He and his boyfriend are just so cute, and he's just like just such a pleasant person.
So
like,
affable.
Yes, he's just like, hello, I'm Rantasmo, and I'm really, really friendly. And you're like, you are.
Then the other panel, right after that, I had to go to another panel, which was which we both worked on, the Cards Against Humanity panel.
I was so nervous about this.
Where it's the same sort of one we did at Alcon, but this time there wasn't a throng of drunken people yelling.
It was a lot easier because at Alcon they'd given us room, and it was the first night of the convention, literally 2 hours after opening ceremonies, in the middle of the pub, and it's University of Leicester or de Montfort, whichever uni it is in Leicester. It's in
de Montfort, I think.
It's in their pub, and their pub is fantastic. But we're on the main stage in the middle of a pub, a few hours after opening ceremonies. People are walking around, and this year I'm getting one. I know Petra will join me on this one. You and Filmring gets this one out, but they have a drink that's basically a fishbowl of a cocktail. And people are coming in and be like, wow, there's a pentagon, this is grand. And so it's really easy to amuse people who are already drunk.
Yes, and like that one, basically we played Cards Against Humanity. This time we had Brental Floss, we had Dexa Swede, and Leon. And
I was trying to be funny, but
good.
The thing is, though, so they everybody was there to see the famous people. So basically, they were playing Cards Against Humanity. They weren't talking much. So I basically had to be the MC and stuff like that. And I felt kind of bad because we have Brental Floss, who is so internet famous, and so I've seen some of his videos. He's so clever. We had this guy Dex the Swede, who I've not watched anything by him, but I'm assuming he's really great. And I'm like, wah ha ha. So Dex the Swede, if this gets back to you, and also Brental Floss, I'm so sorry for talking over you. Yep, she's opening a soda. She's opening a soda right now. Oh, there we go. Actually, I lied. It's a beer. It's not a beer. But no, so I was really nervous, and the girl comes up. She's like, okay, so we're going to live stream this, okay? And I'm like, okay.
And the way we do this is, previously when doing this, we would have the many microphones up, and so the guests from the audience could talk into the microphones, and we would as well. But I figured because
it does drag a bit.
A lot of guests, a lot of audience members get nervous when somebody up on the stage, and so they're quiet or whatever.
Yeah. They
want to play the game, but it's harrowing.
It's nervous.
So that's why. Was it you or was it someone? No, it was Avatar Decent Humor.
Yeah, and the first one
in the Belfast one came up with the idea of having one single person with the microphone, so you have a consistent voice, so you can get used to them, reading out the stuff, and it allows us to concentrate on the game.
And at Alcon, I just kind of got thrown into the part.
You were good though.
I think there was something there was some kind of huge upset about something beforehand. There was something that was wrong. I can't remember what.
I think two. The room was double booked or something.
Yeah, there was some kind of issue that we were still really upset about. The girl's like, okay, so here's the mic, so you're going to be the MC, okay? And then she ran away. I'm like, hi.
But the winners, we had multiple groups of audience members up playing the game, and the winner of each round, each mini game would get a DVD of their choice, because I brought a bunch of Region 1 ones over, including things like Zombie Ass Toilet of the Dead, Men Behind the Sun, Killer Condom, Sleep Dealer, which was actually given to me by Apollo Z Hack, and it wasn't very good, so that person's been through 2 Channel Awesome people's hands. What other ones? There was a bunch of different ones.
I can't remember now.
Oh, Man with a Screaming Brain. So, whoever got these ones, if you're listening to this, I hope you enjoyed them.
So, we did that. We ate at The Works, which is a really great burger place. It's a chain, and I got deep fried dill pickles, and I was just so happy. And you made the best face when you tried one.
Oh, fucking dill pickles.
Pickles are awesome. They should be a thing in the UK, and they're not. But they are, Canada loves them as much as America does, maybe even more. And I'm like, oh, this is wonderful, because everything was like, oh, I want pickles with that? Yes, of course I fucking want pickles with that. And the Subway has the wee sweet peppers and fresh spinach. In Europe, they don't do fresh spinach at Subway.
They don't do Korean stuff either.
Yeah, they have a new... Well, that might be coming over. It's always possible. Mm. Yeah, they have a new, quote-unquote Korean barbecue, but didn't taste any different than regular barbecue. So, but yeah, but no. See, the thing is that like, what you could have lettuce to add some crunch, but lettuce is just basically like cellulose and water. But spinach has like iron and fiber, so you can have that vegetable crunch and get something really good. I eat quite a lot of spinach actually, because I don't eat much beef. So, but anyway. So then that was all of
down the road from the hotel where the Sheraton in Hamilton, this wonderful cheap DVD place called Cheapies. Like last year, I must have bought about $120, $130 worth of DVDs. This year I was a little bit more restrained and only bought about $40 worth, but still, a good collection of things.
I got some old 90s CDs. I had a real moment though, because she was off looking at DVDs and I was like, oh, CDs. And I realized that it was actually kind of exciting, back in the day. And if you're a lot younger than us, this might not even be a thing for you, but like, if you're old enough to remember, getting albums on cassette tape, like, there was that thing in the 90s about, it's like, oh, going to the record store, and, oh, what if they, oh, wow, I didn't know that they had an album before the one that I had, oh, I gotta get this one, all the new albums out, and, like, opening up the jewel case, and reading all the lyrics and stuff like that. I realized that, like, now that, even every major outlet online allows you to just buy the MP3s if you want, or just, you listen to something on YouTube, or, I don't know, it just doesn't feel the same.
Well, yeah, it feels different.
Yeah.
Each of them has good stuff and bad stuff.
Yeah. But so I bought some 90s DVDs, or CDs, and that was nice. What else? We ate a shit ton of Vietnamese food.
Yeah, there's a wonderful place called Nations in the mall beside the Sheraton.
Fan-fucking-tastic.
We can't get a lot of types of Asian food over in Northern Ireland, so I had pho every single day I was at the con.
I had pho 2 of the days, and I can't even pronounce it. It's bun net thing. It's like got like 4 words in it, but it's like the noodles with the vegetables and the fish sauce and the grilled meats on top, and it's just, I love it. So yeah, we don't. I'm sure there's some Vietnamese people on the island, but they don't own a restaurant, so
yeah,
they probably have regular lives like being accountants or something. But the nation's the market there, it's got a shit ton of stuff. Like, I was able to find the dried rice cakes, not rice cakes like the crisp, like the cracker, but like the actual, like, Korean rice cakes. Now they're dried, so I have to soak them for about 12 to 18 hours before use, but that was a big thing that I was looking for. I also found like flavor cubes to add to broth to make it pho flavored and all sorts of grand stuff.
And I found okay. If you check through the archives of YouTube somewhere, you'll find a video where it was taken at Epcot. No, sorry, at the hotel during the filming of Project Million. And we'd just been to Epcot and collected a bunch of Japanese stuff.
So cross yourself and put out a pentagram of salt first.
Yeah. And one of the things we tried was Super Lemon, which is the most realistically flavored lemon sweet I've ever had. As in, it is full-on realistic sour. At least it was back then. I haven't tried the new ones.
She saved one and gave me it. I put it in my mouth, went, pew, and spit it right back out into the bushes.
I love them.
The coffee ones were nice. You didn't like the coffee ones, but I thought they were fantastic.
But in the place, in Nations, I managed to find not only Super Lemon, so I got a couple of bags of them, but also Super Cola.
But, like, it would be cola except more?
I think it'll probably be a realistic tasting cola drink.
Fair play.
Cola sweet, so that'd be cool. Try them later on.
But the staff were really great.
I got some Colombian soda.
Oh yeah, you did, because you're
Colombiana la Nuestra.
Because I saw it and I was like, "This is the kind you love." Because she had been like, "Oh, I have to run up and get ready for the thing," and I'm like, "Well, I'm gonna." Or were you at a panel? You were doing something.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, I got some free time, so I'm gonna go down." Because when I go to a shop for the first time, I like to browse and take my time and look at things and be like, that's interesting. But a lot of people in my in-law family like to rush through a shop, and I'm like, but I didn't get to look at the things. So you were like, why don't you go down and browse to your heart's content? And I came back up and I'm like, look what I bought for you.
I think I was lying down because...
You might have been lying down.
We're still pretty exhausted.
But I do want to say that the staff at ConBravo are really amazing. Mm-hmm. Like, I have been to a lot of conventions. In the beginning, mostly lab conventions, but now a lot more fandom conventions. And they are just on top of everything. Like, especially Luke, who... Basically, this is my impersonation of Luke through the entirety of the convention. Oh, hey, Luke. wah, you'd like just like it was a drive-by looking. Like you'd see him like, oh hey, look, and he's like dashing off to do something else. But,
Doppler effect.
yeah. But no, but the staff were really great, and they ran a really tight ship.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are friends with a ConBravo staff person, let them know. Buy them like a cookie or something.
Yep, and you had a panel.
I did. It was kind of interesting because I wanted to do, because I have what went right, and I really need to do more episodes, but see, I proposed this panel. I said I want to talk about a little bit of a developmental psychology, a little bit of history of children's television and things and stuff. And the panel person got back to me, was like, that's great, that sounds really great. But we want to have more people on the panel. And I was like, oh, shit. So I asked Leon and Tom White and Zara, and I was like, be on the panel. And they were like, okay. And so I was like, I have a whole bunch of people. And they're like, oh, that's great. So I got a Facebook message from Derek the Bard who says, why did you have a children's television panel and not invite me? And I said, because you're a really big, important guest, and I'm really busy and stuff like that. He's like, I'm going to crash your panel. I was like, okay. And he did. He showed up. He's like, I'm on your panel. I'm like, all right, that's fine.
Of course, this one, it started off with us actually discussing things.
It was a big discussion, and then we finally...
You insisted I talk about British animated kids shows from the 80s, which I know very little about because my era was... Even though I was the right age for it, I have a particular love for the 60s and 70s ones. So I was not really useful. And then you were being all like, discussing, and I made you tell them about the magic of the microcosm and things. But then, after a really surreal problem where the videos that you'd collected to play behind us were playing on the laptop, but were not playing on the projector.
It was probably some kind of codec problem because it was an MP4, which I thought, MP4, it's one of the most common video formats. Until it was something weird like Matroska or something like that. But the only players on the laptop that they gave us was some weird one that I'd never heard of, which I think is used primarily for anime codecs, and VLC. And it played on the VLC, but it wouldn't play on the screen behind us, the projection screen.
Really weird.
So, we went through, finally they came about a really new laptop with running Windows 10, and it finally started working. So basically, I'd made an overlay that I had about an hour's worth of intros from 80s children's television shows. And I downloaded them off YouTube, so a lot of them are pretty bad quality. And I wiped all the sound so we could talk over it. But basically, it just became people went, oh my god, I remember that one. Then we just talk about whatever was showing. So
yeah, which was really fun and sort of spontaneous, but a lot less academic than what you wanted to do. What you should do is make a request to a smaller con who would be more likely to give you a panel by yourself.
Alcon's already said I could.
Well,
because they emailed me, they said, what panels do you want to do? And I said, I'm going to do the review of the channel off someone with you. Your Cards Against Humanity, and I said, I'd like to do this What Went Right thing. And the guy was like, no, it's grand.
Okay, then, if you manage to make it to BroCon, they would probably, assuming that...
Yeah, they want to talk about developmental psychology.
They'd probably be fine with it.
True.
BroCon are good people. We also had the meet and greet thing, which, why weren't you involved in?
Because it was an autograph thing. I wasn't technically a guest, and it was an hour, and remember, that's when I wanted to have time to go off to the dealer's room and muck about and stuff like that.
Okay. So, yeah, there was a big pile of us, and people could come and talk to us and get stuff autographed and everything, and I received the greatest gift, I received in ages. I'm reaching over to get it, even though you can't see it. In fact, honey, be magical and put a photo of it now. I
will put a photo of it now, if I remember when I'm editing. I might not.
I got a doll. I think it's probably a Barbie, but its tits are smaller. Turned into Diamanda Hagan.
Could be Stacy, didn't she? And it is really well painted on the face.
Pink hair and everything.
Was this the same person that gave me the knitted octopus?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, I found out that I got a present, and it's a fucking knitted octopus, and this is the best thing. I was like, yee, and I put it on my Facebook immediately.
And she hadn't spotted you, so she didn't know you were there.
So if you're listening, thank you so much. I actually went ee.
And,
online and in real life.
Yes. You who was dressed as the sort of the gender flip to Alex DeLarge from Clockwork Orange. And thank you for the miniature Actium Maximus poster, because that was the last review that went up before the con. That's great.
Well, also, you didn't go because I think you were shooting, but I went to Nash's pub quiz, which was fucking hard.
No, I wasn't shooting. I was taking notes for an upcoming movie for a film called Remake, which, guys, when you see this, I'm in two minds about when to do Remake, whether to do it as soon as fucking possible, cause it is that crazy, or to hold it till next ConBravo, but at various points there was about 15 people involved in watching it on a small laptop to take notes.
What else? Oh, Ty also brought bourbon cherries, we ate a whole bunch of them. They were quite good.
Yeah.
See, usually I don't like cherries because I have to confess, as a child of the 80s, the 5 fruity flavors really spoiled me. Like, whenever I bite into a strawberry, like, or a cherry, I get weirded out because it's not the flavor I associate with strawberry or cherry. Like, I hate banana flavor, but I love bananas. And the banana flavor was due to an unfortunately flavored medicine when I was a child. But, like, I am okay with watermelon flavor, but I despise watermelon the fruit. So it was really weird. Like, these are cherries. Oh, wait, they're real cherries. But they taste good. And we bought poitín to share with everybody, which is basically Irish moonshine. But it's totally legal. I mean, we bought it duty free. But
and in retaliation, some of the Canadians brought some Screech, which is Newfoundland moonshine
really
type
good
stuff.
I liked it because it had a lot of spice and vanilla hints. So it was kind of a bit smoky. So we did end up polishing that bottle at the end. So, but I mean, all in all, it was a really great convention. And you know what?
You got a new water bottle out of it.
I do. But since we really only go to like 2 to 3 conventions a year, and I used to go to all the ConBravo conventions back in the day, you forget, like, you know, what it's like. You have all of your friends together, and kind of, especially now that so many people come from so many different countries, it's so cool to get the feeling for just a few days, like you guys all live down the hall from each other. Yeah. In one neighborhood or one big dorm.
Yeah, because, well, I've always lived far separated from all the ones over there. But you now have to deal with that.
Well, it's not so much having to deal with it. It's just, like, it's so great to see people that, like, we hadn't seen Zed since... I don't think he went last year, so it's been a few years since we saw him.
Yeah, I think I last saw him in Canada.
Yeah. We saw Magic Steve last year. Saw Zenith last year. Hadn't seen Lewis for a year.
Yeah.
And same with Nash. Same with Kitty. And Dodger and all. And
I just mean that, you know, before you moved over here, you could theoretically have jumped into a car and gone to see Leon or, you know, Vera or Dodger or whatever.
Yeah.
Even though you didn't often do that, but you could.
Well, a lot of it was the driving. I mean, well, no, because one time, because Dodger just lives over in Jersey, and she came over to just cross the border. We met up at 50/50s. But, like, yeah, I mean, technically, if I wanted to, I could drive down to D.C. and see Vega, you know, when she's in D.C. and stuff like that. But it's just nice to, like, I don't know. It's like we're all a community for a few days.
And, you know, I'd probably go to more conventions if, I see, the main problem is affording, so...
Well, also,
if
ocean. Like,
yeah.
Even if they comped your flight, like, for every convention you went to in the States, it's still a big fucking hassle to go.
Yeah, so I would probably do it if Con was able to comp me, but I know I am no Brental Floss, I'm no Linkara, so I know that.
Don't worry, honey. Very few of us are Linkara.
Yes, in fact, only one person, probably. But if some sort of eccentric trillionaire decides to become my patron, then I suppose I'd be able to afford it, but...
Eccentric trillionaire!
But, you know, not exactly going to be holding my breath over that.
Stop it, you're going to die. So, no, don't do... She's going to do this the whole thing and then pass out, because I've known you to pass out before. She's giving me a look. I'm going to defeat you. She's still giving me a look. Alright, well, I'll keep the show going on, since you're determined to pass out. So, the dealer's room was cool. Lots of people that were selling. She's still giving me a look. Selling really amazing art and really amazing crafts. See, told you so. I wanted to get a flask from... it was Red Moon Glassworks. But they had a Dragon Age one, but I wanted the symbol of Kirkwall City on a flask, because how fucking cool would that be? And so I said, do you have a website? She said, yeah. I said, do you take custom requests on the website? She's like, yeah, sure. Like us on Facebook. It links to our website. You'll be grand. I'm like, that's great. So I go on their website from the airport while we're sitting around waiting to fly out. And apparently there's a postal strike in Canada. So you can't make any orders until that squadron of the post office comes back up. But once it does, I'm going to order one.
Also, the fluffy dragons.
Oh, yeah, there were these really great, really intricate, like cat dragon fluffy thing. Like, they had, like... looked like either resin or wooden carved faces that were very well painted, but then the rest of them was a plushie. And it looked like something out of Jim Henson's Creature.
Well, I don't know if it was a plushie. There was felt and all around it, but I think it was a really thick pipe cleaner type thing.
Oh, okay. But, like, it literally looked like a Jim Henson creation.
Yeah, they're lovely. They were $50 each. I wanted badly to get one, but I was not convinced that I'd be able to get it back home.
Yeah, so I went down, I talked to the girl, I said, do you have a website? And she's like, yeah, I don't have business cards, let me write it down for you. Were you interested in one? I said, yeah, but so my wife really wants one, but here's the thing, we're flying back to Ireland, and we're really worried about getting crushed. And she's like, no, that's fine, go on our website, we do ship internationally. She's like, the best time is in November, because that's when we, have a big sale. And I was like, got it.
Yeah, they were awesome. There's actually someone else doing very similar ones, which was, I think, where you got the cat
The cat one, yeah.
Because there were cat-shaped ones. They were sort of like more sphinxy. But the Chinese dragon ones, they were fucking awesome.
They were pretty cool. But so, enough about that. I actually have like about 10, 15 minutes left in the show. We should talk about the rest of our holiday. Holiday. Celebrate. Come on. Do.
Before we do that, I just want to say, every one of the fans, everyone who likes the show, who I met up with, thank you so much. Every single,
Yay, fans.
I know that my numbers on YouTube are not the most spectacular in the world, and you do sometimes forget that every single one at the time it goes up, like by 1 or 2, it's real people taking time out of their lives watching your stuff because they find you worthwhile, and you put faces to the numbers, and you made it so real. Thank you very much.
People are like, oh my gosh, is that Game on Hagan? Yes it is. But, so, yeah. So then, come Sunday night, we actually all went out and got Italian food, and that was kind of fun. Oh, we met Mr. Prickly.
Yes, we did, from Twitter.
Who was like, I live in Canada, I will come see you. And he knows everything about wrestling. Ever. I feel kind of bad because I haven't watched wrestling since 1985 or 6. When Hulk Hogan was there the first time. So he's like, and then the things and stuff happen. It's this person. And you'd be like, oh, right. Oh, yeah, that person. I'm like, I don't know what's happening.
I was using my limited wrestling knowledge because I stopped paying attention to... I paid attention to wrestling in the late 80s and then again in the late 90s for a short period. But then since then I've kept up mainly through the occasional video game.
I just see people tweeting about wrestling a lot. So
or
Spoonie will say something.
Or by finding out whether a wrestler I liked when I was younger has either retired or died.
Yeah. Or been committed for like rape or something like that.
Was one made for rape?
Somebody was done for rape. Rape and murder or something. Oh, okay. Someone did something like that. But yeah, so that was Sunday, and we bid goodbye, and then us and Zed went to the Travelodge in the airport to begin our holiday.
Us and Zed?
Yeah.
Oh, you... Okay.
Not Zed the letter, Zed the person.
I was confused!
So, actually, it was a nice Travelodge, with a really powerful air conditioner went...
It sounded like it was charging up for like a Dragon Ball Z
Yeah,
thing.
like every 10 minutes overnight. No, but it was nice. So we went, on Monday we went to Canada's Wonderland.
With Fatan and Ty.
Yes. Well, they met us there after doing the water park. Because while I do enjoy a water park, I did not have any swim trunks or like anything like that. Plus, I get ear infections really easily, and that's not what I wanted to happen on holiday.
So, if you've not been to Canada's Wonderland, it is Canada's premier theme park.
Premier. And
went on...
Lots of...
Molly and Zed went on the Guardian of the Mountain, because instead of a castle, they got a big mountain, and it starts off as a semi-roller coaster. It takes you outside, and then it puts you inside, where it becomes... it's got big screens, and you got laser guns. You have to shoot your way through, basically, a ripped-off plot of The Hobbit. And I killed our guide, which was awesome. And then at the end, if you don't kill the dragon, it sort of breathes fire on you. And the track underneath you disappears, and you fall like a story or so into another track. And then that's the end of the ride.
No.
So you wouldn't have liked the vertical drop, and you wouldn't have liked the sort of the bit on the outside. But apart from that, you would have loved it.
I don't like most rides. There was one ride that we couldn't... I don't think they have one there, but I don't know what it's called. But it's small, and it's a track, but it's like a track with mountains and just a circle. And you're in like a little roller coaster car, but it goes around around the mountains and around the track so quickly that centrifugal force pushes you to the outside. And I've always loved that ride since I was little. And I've seen variations of it,
And then you refused to also go on the Rubber Dinghy Rapids.
I didn't want to get wet.
Well, you would have got wet.
I don't like being wet.
I enjoyed it more than the Kali River Rapids, but not as much as the Alton Towers one. But I did enjoy. The waterfall wasn't just aesthetic; it was there. The water was launched out far enough that it got into the boat, and so I was stuck underneath there for a little while. That was cool.
From the place that I was watching people go by on, Like, there was a voice that would say, like, it was obviously piped in from someone who was watching the ride. Would say, "Get ready for the waterfall. Are you ready? Here comes the waterfall. All right, here's the waterfall." I saw you guys go past and I waved, but you were like, "Wow!"
You saw me getting soaked.
Yeah.
And after that,
and then
what are the rides? Because we went on rides. We went on the carousel, and I was sitting it out. And then every single time
carousel.
she went past, I would move.
Zed was like, "Let's go in the carousel." I'm like, "I do like the carousel."
Yes, and when they went past, I would move where I was sitting, or go hide behind something, and then come back the next time just to try and.
Like the first time you did it, I was like, "Did she move to a different part?" And then you were sitting back, and I was like, "She must have ducked behind something to hide."
I'm a genius, and tell them the saga of you on a roller coaster.
So I don't like a lot of rides. I don't like how they make me feel. I feel like my molecules are coming apart. I'm gonna be flung out into space. I don't like it. It's a sensory experience that I dislike very strongly. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, you just need to, like, go on lots of roller coasters to get used to it." I'm like, no. Like, if someone doesn't like, lime flavor, you don't keep telling them, "Oh, you just need to eat more limes and you'll like it." No, you won't. If you don't like something, you don't like something. So everyone's like, "No, let's go on these. It's a car thing, so it's not too extreme. Sure, it'll be grand." And there was all these little kids going on it too. And Fatan was like, "Oh no, it's fine," and things and stuff. And I was like, "Okay, you guys." I thought it was gonna be like that thing at Disney.
I thought it was gonna be like Test Track, where you had some sort of like ducking and weaving, going to different places like car stuff, and then going really fast in a circle, like Test Track did. And so my research was wrong.
We sit down. They lock the bar on. I'm like, "Okay, ready to go," and it launches. You launch into a triple spiral. And I said, "I don't like this." And I actually managed to preserve my molecular integrity by having one hand, like, holding, like, my glasses on my face, and I was just, like, hugging the bar, and so that created, like, a curled up little ball of me, and that was fun. I'm like, "I don't want this," and the first thing is, "Oh no, I'm so sorry."
Yeah, if I'd known it was like that, I wouldn't have asked you to come on.
And then you were like, "It's over." And I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "No, wait, it's not over." And then we went, and then we were done, and my heart was beating irregularly, and I thought that I was gonna have a heart attack.
Yeah, I did it.
And she looks at me, and she's like, "What?" I was like, "I went on a ride with you." Yay! And then Fatan and Ty were like, "Well, that's your quota." I was like,
here's the thing. I
staggered away from the experience.
I like having roller coasters in that I like the memory of going on them and having been on them. I find the experience of going on most roller coasters to be varying degrees of unpleasant because I get bad motion sickness.
I don't. I just don't like them.
I like going on them, but usually only a couple of trip. But I'm so sorry if I thought it was going to be lighter than that.
That's okay. I'll use it for like a guilt prize later on. Remember that time?
And then the heavens opened and we received more rain on top of us than Derry probably gets in about a month.
Yeah.
Within an hour.
Well, see, being from North America, I'm used to these sudden summer downpours. So, but you guys had just got off the log flume, so you were already wet.
Yeah, because this log flume thing, you just get on the boat, and it takes you up a hill, puts you across a bit, and then down a big long thing into water. So it's a little bit like Alton Towers' Oblivion, but with a log flume. So Zed suggested ducking forward to make sure the people behind us got more soaked, and only our back would be soaked. And it worked. Only our backs got soaked. And then we looked up just in time for the bridge in front of us we had to go under where people were standing. It drops water just long enough to cover everyone on the boat, which is like, you cunts. And then we got out of there, and I wandered up the bridge to leave, because you got to go over the bridge to get out, while the next one was coming down, not realizing that the water, the impact that the boat makes in the water, it covers the bridge more than it covers the boat. So I was sort of wandering through there, and I got completely soaked.
And then it started to pour, and we had to take refuge. Like, I tried to take refuge in one different place, and like the people wouldn't let me under the thing. So the only place I could find was the women's toilets, because my rationale being that I think it's like against the law to like deny someone use of the toilet. So like there was like a lot of like women and girls, and I think eventually some little brothers ended up there, just like standing in this toilet. And then you found me eventually. You found Zed. And then he came to the door of the toilet. Like, we can't remain in the toilet for the rest of our lives. We're like, all right. So then we crossed to the front, but by then it had stopped raining. And Zara heard a noise, so she's gone off to see what that's about. But I was pretty used to that. You know, you get late afternoon thunderstorms, so I thought that was fine. And then we wandered around the sweet shop while we decided if we were going to leave or not. And I bought a lot of fudge for Zara. And she's not here, so I can be like, I bought her all of the fudge because I'm the best wife. The best wife ever. The end. And then eventually we decided that we should probably leave. Because it was getting on pretty late in the evening and everybody was exhausted. We're back. Her phone was ringing. But yeah, so then we left. And then Tuesday, we went on similar adventures. We went to the Royal Ontario Museum.
Yes, you're obviously on the long and desolate flight from Dublin to Toronto. I was looking through the guidebook and I worked out a plan for the Tuesday, which would have been aquarium, then Rom. But then Zed was like, no! Rom first, aquarium second!
But it made sense because of the way we were on the metro. I mean, on the whatever they call it.
Actually, it would have been just as bad because we would have had to go into Union anyway.
Well,
it would have been exactly the thing, but it's like, no, he insisted on changing it around.
I think it was fine that he did.
I'm being silly.
So, the Royal Ontario Museum had a lot of cool stuff.
It's basically like a single Smithsonian museum.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's still nowhere near as good as like the British Museum or the Natural History Museum in London or the Imperial War Museum or something.
But it was cool.
Yeah.
Wee things at the gift shop.
Yeah, no denying that. I mean, they
had like First Nation stuff. There was this really cool thing where like there was like this diorama of like some First Nations people like, you know, just living life in, you know, a teepee or something. And a lot of people got upset. They said, well, you know, you always talk about us and our tribes as though it's still like the Stone Age. You know, we're a modern people. We do modern things. We have iPods too, you know. So basically, the thing was redone. And the one guy who's got the tomahawk in his hand, so I guess was reaching towards the fire. Now he's reaching to pick up his power drill. And like the one girl is holding like a DSLR camera on like a unipod. You know, and I got this look on her face, like, okay, smile. And the one guy's like, okay. But he has an iPod in his hands, and like,
it was good.
It was really great. I was like, I love that. That's clever.
Yeah, and it was a good mixture of various things, because most museums are like, you know, of that size are fairly singular purpose. With this one, it's got dinosaurs, it's got sort of modern animals there, it's like got First Nation
Asia
stuff.
And...
Yeah, little sections in ancient Rome, ancient Asia, ancient. You got an entire like Ming Dynasty general's tomb.
That was pretty cool.
You know, brick for brick was moved over from China. You got these various different things. So it's like a miniature version of like several different museums put together.
I really like history museums. And there was a really great area.
There's the giant totem poles.
Yeah, that was really cool because I don't know if I knew this, but it wasn't one of those facts that I would have like, you know, like, oh, this is a fact. That really totem poles are ubiquitous to the western coast. Like none of the tribes on the eastern or the middle plains or the southwestern tribes, they don't make totem poles. Just the Pacific Northwest.
So that's probably because that's semi close to Hollywood. That's probably they probably first appeared, you know, in westerns.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty cool because I just realized like, if they ever need another one in the museum, they can go to the tribes nearby and be like, "Can you make us a totem pole?"
Yeah, these things these are like 3 or 4 stories tall.
They're
really big.
There was a hall of crystals and stones and minerals and gems, and of course, like Zed and I could not, you know, keep from making Steven Universe references.
And there was the giant quartz vagina.
It just looked like that. I want one of like a huge crystal stand just to have in my house someday.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. I'm not as big into geology as you, but I would not be opposed to that.
There was a bat cave, which was only facts about bats. It did not have any actual bats.
Yeah, but kind of half-assed thing saying, "Oh, look, there's bats there." It's just created with strobe lights and noises.
Yeah, and you're like, that's not a real bat. Like basically, the bats from Sesame Street, the little ones that fly about on strings near the Count's head, those were more bats than the bats.
Yeah.
But so then we got lunch and watched cliff diving on the television because it took an hour and a half
for our food to arrive
at this pub.
I wasn't complaining; my feet were killing me.
Yeah, and then we went down to the aquarium, and they have what is it? It's the longest viewing tube.
Yeah, you know, like the Perspex tunnels where you can see fish above you. Yeah, it's the longest in the world.
That was really cool, and sharks were like going above us.
I think it's like an eighth of a mile or something. It is so long. They've actually you've got the option of using a travelator, and the rest of the aquarium was good. Was good.
Yeah.
That took it over the edge. That made it one of the best aquariums I've ever been to.
And they had lots of jellyfish you could just come and watch. I love jellyfish, so.
The jellyfish were in like these giant pink and cyan sorts of things.
Yeah,
so
they were. It was backlit, and the colors kept changing. But since the jellyfish were transparent/white, they would just kind of like change color. They didn't really change color, but it appeared it was. I'll post some pictures. It's really cool. And I got.
You got to pet a horseshoe crab?
I did. Well, I've pet a horseshoe crab before in real life.
Oh.
I mean, not that this wasn't real life. But not in captivity. Well, because they're all over the Atlantic coast. Like, when I was little, you just find their bodies.
And I saw vagabond butterfly fish, but you didn't believe me.
I did so believe you.
We stood there for 20 minutes because beside the tanks, they would have like these sort of screens telling you what type of fish were in there. Rather than having just signs, they had these screens that would change every like 30 seconds just to allow you to read about them. And I kept waiting for the vagabond butterfly fish to turn up because they didn't believe that it was a real thing. I didn't
stand there for 20 minutes. I believed you. You Googled it later. But so I got a new Giovanni at the gift shop because
Giovanni the Second.
Giovanni is getting a little bit threadbare in his old age.
So he's going to regenerate.
And then on Wednesday we kind of had a rest.
Do you want that to happen in one of the episodes of Hagan?
It can. We can decide later.
We can do it like as an end credits thing, maybe during the Ravenous review.
Aye. But so on Wednesday we kind of just took it easy, but we went to go see Star Trek Beyond, which I quite enjoyed.
Yeah, originally Wednesday we were hoping to go to the zoo, but we were too trashed.
Yeah, it was just not happening. We were so tired.
And we didn't want to have a full day and then the next day, 8 hours at the airport and then the 20-odd hours travel. So.
Yeah, because actually he left on Wednesday. He had a 5-hour drive back to Ottawa, so, But then we went to it was really cool because the travel lodge let us check out late at 3 rather than at 12. So that was fine. Then we had hours and hours and hours at the airport.
Yeah, we got there at 3. Flight wasn't supposed to take off till 11. Didn't take off till past 12.
I think it was like 12:30. First it was delayed, and it was delayed again.
And it kept being delayed.
Yeah, and then we got back, and then we were pretty lucky. We managed to get right onto the bus to Derry from Dublin, which is really hard to do. But it also meant we didn't have time to... It's a
different bus than we usually get.
Yeah. We didn't have time to use the toilet or get anything to eat.
Yeah, we sort of separated off. Meg was like, okay, you take the cart with all this stuff. I'll rush and get us a space in the queue.
But then I got turned around somehow.
And then I was like, I was moving slowly with the big things, holding everything together. And then I got there and it was like the Derry bus was already there and Omega was not there. And I was like, I was rushing around trying to find you. Does she not realize this is the bus?
I got confused.
And I spotted you in the distance and you thought I was just waving to you. And
but then I realized you were like, this is the bus. Like, and then I felt like I actually said, get out of my way.
I heard
people in front of me. Because here in Ireland, people will not move. If you're like, excuse me, they'll move like an inch. So what I do at the shop when people are, and I'm like carrying books and people are, I'm like, excuse me, thank you. In a very neutral, very business tone, I just keep walking.
That doesn't sound neutral to the Irish people.
Well, whatever, but it's a civil business tone is what it is. I was like, get out of my way! I actually just said, like booked it. Like, Jesus fucking Christ! And then I pulled the returns out of my back. I'm like, let's take it, the thing. And then we were...
Yes, but
got home at
the moral of the story is it took us so long. Okay, we were in the plane itself. We were located right beside one of the toilets, and there was 3 toilets. 2 of them were broken. The other one was in constant use. People queuing up, and for the brief moments when there was no one in there, I don't know about you, but I got to smell it every single time. So I did not want to use the loo, and then we didn't have the time to use it afterwards.
Yeah.
So
we got a taxi from the taxi rank up to the house. She's like, I have to use the loo.
So I technically managed to not go to the bathroom between Toronto and Derry.
That's probably bad for you.
Oh well.
But it's coming up to the end of the episode, so we're still pretty jet lagged because it was only yesterday we got back. So.
Yeah, so sorry for the meandering.
So that's all our Canadian adventures. Of course, we'll think of 15 things that we should have mentioned, but
probably yeah.
We'll talk about it later. But so that has been us. That has been episode 101. I have been the Omega Geek, and honey, who do you want to have been this week?
someone who will do this more often, because I would like it if Lesbian Talk became more regular.
Yeah, me too.
Because I met at least a couple of Lesbian Talk fans at the con.
Well, see, and someone asked me about that, and I said, as paradoxical as it sounds, once the term starts, I'll have more time. Because right now I am doing analysis, and I am writing a research paper that I want to try to get published in the autumn, and I want to try to present my findings at the conference in Coleraine in spring, which will hopefully completely set me up to get one of the doctorate places, and I'm going for this year, so we'll see. But yeah, I'll make more videos. So that's been us. Bye, everybody.
Bye.